Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome back to another edition of Meet the Opposition. This week, I'm joined by Chris, the man who covers all things Plymouth Argyle for Plymouth Live. Chris, thank you very much for joining me. First of all, Plymouth, what a season it's been. The last 6 games, 6 wins, 6 clean sheets, 4th in League One, riding high. Chris, give us the lowdown on the season with Plymouth. Ryan Lowe went, Steven Schumacher's now in, doing a very good job indeed.
It's happy days indeed, Ross. It's nice to be able to join you again and have a chat about Argyle and Ipswich and a big game on Saturday, which I'm really looking forward to. I know it's Portman Day. We had something similar down at home park in the season. It was a fantastic occasion. In terms of Argyle this year, I think they've exceeded a lot of expectations. I should imagine a lot of people around League One are surprised to see where Argyle are at the moment. And I think if they're honest, I think probably the Argyle squad are surprised as well. I think they thought at the start of the season they would have a good season and improve on their 18th place finish from last season. But I think they probably a little bit 7 games to go to games in the store. And as you say, change of manager during the course in December. That could have derailed the season. You often see it, don't you, when a manager gets poached by a higher division club, as was the case with Ryan Lowe going to Preston North End. But Argyle made what turned out to be a very shrewd move in immediate appointing to Steven Schumacher. There was the option for Steven to go to Preston with Ryan Lowe and continue as his number 2. But Schumacher decided he would start up offer of the Argyle job. They gave him a 3.5-year contract, which was, a big commitment. I know you can argue that contract are worth the paper they're written on, but it was a job. Right, games in charge of 38, and you can't really ask for much more than that, can you?
No, you can't. To be fair, in the start of the season, I said Plymouth was going to be the dark horses of League One, and I'm happy that I've been proven right because it's great to see. I really did enjoy my trip down to home park, and it was a very good game between Plymouth. Of course, Plymouth got the 1-0 win that day. Was it 2-1? What's the scoreline?
2-1.
We did score, didn't we? 2-1. It was 2-1. Yeah. A lot's happened since then. Paul Cook's gone at town, of course. But that was a great day. Of course, now both clubs have got 2 new managers. What sort of game can we expect from a Steven Schumacher side?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the 2 managers because Kieran McKenna's 35, Steven Schumacher just a little bit older at 37. And it doesn't feel like there's a bit of a wave of young managers coming around. Certainly in League One, you look at the top end of the table, and if you include the likes of Liam Richardson and Paul Warren, and you've got obviously Liam Mannon at MK Dons, as clubs seem to be following a similar pattern, don't they? That they've seen that things are working perhaps more with the younger, more modern, forward-thinking coaches and managers, and it seems to be working. From an Argyle point of view, one of the good things from their perspective is that when Steven Schumacher took over from Ryan Lowe, no change of tactics, no change of philosophy. That I played under Ryan Lowe is the way that they play now. And that made the transition a lot easier for the players. Instead of bringing in a new manager with his own staff and his own beliefs and wanting to bring his own players in, Steven Schumacher just moved into the manager's chair, and then they've carried on playing the same way. So they'll always play a 3-5-2. Jordan Houghton will be the midfield holding player. He is the pivot, the crucial player in the way they play. They try and play through the thirds. They'll often get the ball into Houghton. He then distributes the ball to the wing-backs, and off they go. And that's the way they try and play. Obviously, clubs around League One are well aware of how Argyle play. There's not going to be any surprise for Kieran and McKenna in the way that Argyle play. He will tell you now he knows exactly how Argyle are going to play. But Argyle have played their system very well this season. And on their day, they have proven that they can give every team in this division a good run for the money. So I wouldn't expect any surprise team lineups. I wouldn't expect any different systems. I think they'll play the 3-5-2 and they'll trust that the way they've been playing recently, they can carry that on against a very good Ipswich team who are in form as well at Portman Road. I mean, it is, you don't want to build it up too much, but it is shaping up to be a great game.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll get into your thoughts and your prediction later in the video. But let's quickly bring up the last 11 from Tuesday night against Cheltenham. As you said, 3-5-2. Of course, players that stick out for me already. Of course, James Wilson was Player of the Year last year at Town. Of course, joined
Yeah.
Plymouth this season as a free agent. How good has he been?
Well, he's been very good. We had our presser with Stephen Schumacher on Thursday, and had a chance to ask him and the captain Joe Edwards about James Wilson ahead of his return to Portman Road. The word that Stephen Schumacher used about James Wilson was outstanding. They feel that they've got one. And Joe Edwards is the Argyle captain. He was at Bristol City when James Wilson started his career as well. They know each other very well. In fact, they live quite close to each other and they drive into Home Park every day. So he's big mate with James Wilson, and he just said he's been in fantastic form. I remember last summer when James Wilson signed for Argyle. It was in May. It was a very early, close signing, and Ryan Lowe was the manager of Argyle at the time, and he said that James Wilson was his number one priority to bring in. He was Ryan Lowe's first signing last summer, and looking back on it now, 10 months later, it's proved to be a really good. Can quite easily see why Ipswich, rated him so highly, certainly last season.
Indeed, and those clean sheets are probably one of the reasons because of James Wilson doing so well. Two big players that are missing from that 11 and will be missing the game on Saturday, and that is going to be Kamara and also Jeffcott, both on international duty. Town fans will be going, thank God they're not playing, because Kamara has been unbelievable this season. Jeffcott, of course, been scoring goals. Yeah. How big of a loss they will be. They missed, of course, Tuesday night. 2-0 win anyway, but did you see much of a difference with them outside?
No, because they're quite fortunate. They've got players of a similar style and stature to bring in. Certainly up front, Luke Jeffcott's been good for Argyle again this season too, and he's improving all the time. But they have got 4 strikers that Schumacher's been rotating quite regularly. Jeffcott's one. Ryan Hardy's the 19 in all competitions this season. Nice, who scored 2 in the last 2. And George being a good signing on loan from Swansea City this season. So you've had those around. So the fact that Jeffcott is there, we can. But overall, you can accommodate without Luke Jeffcott. Panucci Kamara has been excellent for Argyle this season. He is a real powerful, strong running central midfielder. He's been really good for them. He's away on international duty with Guinea-Bissau, West African country. He played for them the Africa Cup of Nations in January. He missed a few games during January. They and Egypt while he was there. And he's actually played his latest game for Guinea-Bissau this week and scored in a 3-0 friendly win over in Portugal against Equatorial Guinea. He's away, as you say, Ross, for Saturday's game. That is a big blow. There is, no getting away from it. Ryan Broom came into the team on Tuesday night and has done really well for Argyle this season as well. And I'm not sure it necessarily weakens the team, but Kamara's a real driving force. And when he's on song, he's, he would be in your first choice. If you asked any Argyle fan, I'm sure Panucci Kamara would be in their first choice starting lineup if they had everyone available. So a blow, but as you say, they beat Cheltenham in the week 2-0. Cheltenham were quite good. I was quite impressed with Cheltenham actually. Broom came in, and I would expect him to continue in the central midfield alongside Danny Meyer against Ipswich.
Yeah, Danny Meyer, another great player, and for League One, he's been fantastic. Let's talk about the game then, Chris. We've already built up a little bit already, but what are you expecting when you come down the Portman Road? 2 informed sides. Plymouth pretty much cementing themselves in the playoffs. Town, slim chances, just a slim chances of getting to the playoffs, but this is a must-win game for Town if they want to have any hope of getting the playoffs. But Plymouth will be a hard task for the Blues.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that Argyle will make it difficult for Ipswich. They've been playing well, and I would hope that they will go there with confidence and with belief in the way that they're playing. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, Ross, is seeing a crowd, and a good-sized crowd at Portman Road. Argyle played their last March in the middle of one of the lockdowns we had, and I hadn't been to Portman Road since 2010 when Paul Mariner, funny enough, was the Argyle manager at the time, and Argyle won 2-0. And I was looking forward to going back to Portman Road, but it was so quiet. There was no fans. There was hardly anyone there. I mean, some of the games played behind closed doors last season, there was probably 200 or 300 people at. I don't know where they all came from, but they were there. But at Ipswich, there just was, apart from the media, there just didn't seem to be anyone there. It's obviously a big stadium. And I remember sitting in the press box, and it just felt so soulless. It was horrible. And Ipswich were way better than Argyle that day. They scored after 4 minutes. I just checked before we recorded this. Troy Parrott scored early on. And honestly, in the first 15 minutes, Ipswich could have been 3 or 4 up and out of sight. It finished 1-0. Argyle were never in the game. It was played in front of no fans. And then, you had a 300-mile journey home. And yeah, it wasn't the greatest day I've ever had watching and reporting on Argyle. To be thinking that we're well over 20,000, I think, on Saturday. Yeah. I think Argyle are bringing 1,500 fans up with them, and 2 informed teams, 2 of the most informed teams in the division. Town unbeaten in 10, I think. Argyle on a run of 9 wins from the last 11. Like I say, sometimes these games can almost fall flat because of the expectations are high, but I can see both teams going for it, and it should be a really good game, good occasion, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, I think the one worry is it could be a goalless draw because of the clean sheets for both sides. Last time we played a team in form and was Portsmouth, and that ended in a 0-0 draw. I won't get you to put your prediction on it, but I'm sure you are looking forward to the trip to Portman Road. As you said, last time you went is a bit soulless because there was nobody there. But any other notes, Chris, before we wrap up?
Well, just that I think Argyle have definitely surprised teams in League One this season. I think the longer that you go on, you can't be a surprise package. I think people must realise what Argyle are about and what they're doing, and so that does make things a little bit more tricky. But I suppose the one thing I would say, Ross, that I do think one of the keys to Argyle this season was they went to Chelsea in the FA Cup 4th round at the start of February, and it was a great day out, and I think, if they'd lost 2 or 3-0, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But they went to Chelsea and they played really well. They played good football. They didn't just park the bus. They took the lead. They led for most of the first half. They ended up losing 2-1 after extra time. No mean feat against a very strong Chelsea team that day. And then the following Tuesday, they went to Crewe. Tuesday night in Crewe, 3,000 fans there. Complete opposite from a packed Stamford Bridge with all the glamour of the FA Cup to a Tuesday night League One in Crewe. They won 4-1 that night, and that has been that's what's propelled them on this run that they've gone on. And they've been on a fantastic run, and everything seems to have clicked. Now, they have got a really difficult run in, starting with Ipswich. I'll probably get them all in the wrong order, but their final 7 games: Ipswich, Oxford, Burton are thrown in them, but then Wycombe, Sunderland, Wigan, Milton Keynes. They've got all the top teams to play. I think they've got statistically the hardest run in out of all the sides. So every point is going to be really important for them because they've got so many tough games. They're in a good position at the moment. I think there's 8 points separating them and Sheffield Wednesday in 7th, who are outside the playoffs. But they have got some really tough games. So it is really important for them. And, would they take a draw at Portman Road? I'm sure they would. But are they going to go to Portman Road to try and play for a draw? I don't think so. I think they'll go it. I know what you mean about nil-nil draws and Argyle's clean sheets and things, but I'd be surprised if Argyle go there and people think that they're playing defensively and trying to play for a draw. I think they'll really be looking to get a win. So that's why I feel that with Ipswich obviously needing maximum points realistically, I'd like to think that both teams will go for it. And like I say, we'll see where we go from there.
We shall, and yeah, it's going to be a great occasion. Paul Mariner Day. It's going to be a big crowd. Looking forward to this one. Chris, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to follow the game with us and also Chris at Plymouth Live as well. Bring it on. at Portman Road. See you there.